Today, I want to talk to you about something that touches the lives of every family, every household, and everyone who manages the financial side of their lives, budgeting. Specifically, I want to discuss how a simple family budget plan can help you save more and stress less. If you're like most people, managing family finances can feel overwhelming at times. You have bills to pay, kids to care for, unexpected expenses that pop up, and goals you want to achieve, like buying a home, going on vacation, or simply ensuring that you're secure in your retirement years. It can all seem like a never-ending balancing act. But what if I told you that one of the most effective ways to ease that pressure, reduce stress, and put you on the path toward financial security is something as simple as creating a family budget? A family budget, in its essence, is a roadmap for your money. It's not about restricting your spending or feeling deprived. It's about getting intentional with how you handle your finances so that you can make choices that are aligned with your long-term goals. When done right, a family budget doesn't just keep your spending in check. It gives you the freedom to spend confidently, save for the future, and reduce the stress that often comes with financial uncertainty. The first step in creating a family budget is understanding where your money is going. We often think we know where our money is being spent, but when we take the time to track our income and expenses in detail, we often uncover areas where money is slipping through the cracks. This is where the process of tracking your expenses comes in. Start by reviewing the last few months of your bank statements or credit card bills. Categorize your expenses into areas such as housing, groceries, transportation, utilities, healthcare, entertainment, and miscellaneous spending. Don't forget to factor in those irregular or seasonal expenses like car maintenance, gifts, or school fees. This exercise will give you a clearer picture of your financial landscape. Now, I know that some expenses are fixed, things like your mortgage or rent, car payments, and insurance premiums. These are predictable and, for the most part, non-negotiable. But then there are the variable expenses, things like groceries, utilities, and entertainment, that can be adjusted. Often this is where families can save the most money. One of the easiest ways to cut down on expenses is to identify areas where you may be overspending. Are you eating out too often? Are there subscriptions you're not using, like streaming services or gym memberships? These small, everyday choices can add up, and the best part is that you have the power to change them. When you identify these areas, look for opportunities to scale back without sacrificing quality of life. Maybe you can cook a few more meals at home or find less expensive alternatives for entertainment. The goal isn't to make drastic sacrifices, but to make small, manageable changes that lead to big savings over time. And as you begin saving more in these areas, you can redirect that money toward your larger financial goals. Now, let's talk about the income side of the equation. How much money is coming into your household each month? It's critical to have a solid understanding of your income streams, whether that's your salary, any side businesses, rental income, or other sources of revenue. For many families, their income may be relatively fixed. But if you find that your family's expenses are consistently higher than your income, it may be time to explore ways to either increase your earnings or reduce your expenses further. In today's economy, side hustles, part-time work, and freelance opportunities have become common ways to supplement income. If you have the skills and time to do so, you might find that an extra $200 a month can make a world of difference. Once you've clearly outlined your expenses and income, the next step is to create a plan for allocating your money. There are several methods for budgeting, and I want to touch on a few of the most popular approaches. One method is the 50-30-20 rule, which divides your income into three categories: 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings and debt repayment. This simple approach ensures that you cover your essential expenses, have room for enjoyable things, and still prioritize saving for your future. Another method is the zero-based budgeting approach. With this method, every dollar you earn is assigned a specific job, whether it's for an expense, a savings goal, or debt repayment. This system works well for people who want to have a more granular level of control over their spending and savings. The goal is to make sure that at the end of the month, your income minus your expenses equals zero. Every dollar has been assigned to something purposeful. Then there's the envelope system, which is a more hands-on approach, often used for managing variable expenses like groceries, gas, or entertainment. You allocate a set amount of cash into envelopes for each category. Once the envelope is empty, you stop spending in that category until the next budget cycle. This method helps to curb impulse spending and gives you a tangible way to track how much you're spending in each area. Whichever method you choose, the key is to stick to the plan. Yes, Life happens and there will be unexpected expenses, but by having a clear understanding of where your money is going, it becomes easier to make adjustments when necessary. It also helps to set goals, both short-term and long-term, to stay motivated and focused on the bigger picture. Saving for a family vacation or a down payment on a home can feel like a huge mountain to climb, but by breaking it down into smaller, manageable chunks, you can make steady progress. Speaking of savings, let's take a moment to talk about that. A family budget plan is only as good as the savings it helps you accumulate. Having an emergency fund is essential. Life is unpredictable, cars break down, medical bills arise, and appliances need replacing. An emergency fund ensures that you're not forced to go into debt when these unexpected situations occur. Financial experts generally recommend setting aside 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses in an easily accessible savings account. But it's not just about saving for the unexpected. It's also about saving for your future. Retirement may seem far off, but the earlier you start saving, the more time your money has to grow, whether it's through a 401k, an IRA, or other retirement accounts. Setting aside a portion of your income each month for retirement is an investment in your future financial security. And then there's the question of debt. Most families have some form of debt. Whether it's student loans, credit card debt, or a mortgage, the key here is to create a plan for paying down your debt in a way that aligns with your budget. Consider using the debt snowball method, where you pay off your smallest debts first to build momentum, or the debt avalanche method, where you focus on paying off high-interest debt first to save money in the long term. Debt can be a huge source of stress for families, but a clear plan to manage and reduce that debt can provide relief and pave the way for a more secure financial future. Finally, I want to talk about the power of communication. One of the most important components of a successful family budget is having open, honest conversations about money. This means discussing financial goals, priorities, and challenges with your partner or other family members. The more aligned you are as a household, the easier it will be to stay on track with your budget. Set aside regular times, perhaps once a month, to review your budget as a family. Discuss what's working, what's not, and where you can improve. This will help everyone stay on the same page and make it easier to adjust as your financial situation changes. In conclusion, creating a simple family budget plan doesn't have to be complicated. By tracking your income and expenses, setting clear goals, and sticking to a plan, you can save more and stress less. A budget isn't about limiting your freedom, it's about giving you the financial confidence and peace of mind to live the life you want without constantly worrying about money. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Even small steps, like cutting back on unnecessary expenses or setting aside a little more for savings each month, can lead to significant improvements in your financial well-being. And as you reduce financial stress, you'll also experience more peace and security, not just for you, but for your entire family. The first step in creating a simple family budget plan is to get a clear picture of where your money is actually going each month. Most of us think we have a rough idea of how much we spend. But when we take the time to track our expenses in detail, we often realize that money is slipping away in places we didn't expect. The first task is to categorize your expenses into fixed and variable costs. Fixed expenses are the non-negotiable costs that stay consistent every month, like rent or mortgage payments, car loans, insurance premiums, and utility bills. These are the costs you can rely on to be the same amount each month. On the other hand, variable expenses fluctuate from month to month. These include things like groceries, gas, entertainment, and dining out. Variable expenses can be harder to control, but with some attention, they're also where you can make the most impact in your budget. Once you've categorized your spending, you can start identifying areas where you might be overspending without realizing it. For example, eating out or grabbing coffee every day can add up quickly. Maybe you've got subscriptions for streaming services or magazines that you no longer use but still pay for. Even small, seemingly insignificant purchases like frequent impulse buys at the store or online shopping can drain your budget over time. By identifying these areas, you can make adjustments, cutting back on dining out, canceling unused subscriptions, or setting a spending limit on non-essentials can free up money that can be redirected toward your bigger financial goals, like saving for emergencies, paying off debt, or setting aside for a vacation. Tracking your expenses regularly will help you stay aware of your spending habits, and as you make small changes, you'll find that it's easier to stay within your budget and meet your financial goals. Creating a simple budgeting plan is essential to gain control over your finances and ensure that your money is working for you rather than against you. There's no one-size-fits-all solution, so it's important to find a budgeting method that aligns with your family's needs, lifestyle, and financial goals. One of the most popular and straightforward methods is the 50-30-20 rule, which divides your income into three main categories: 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings and debt repayment. This method is simple and flexible, allowing for both necessary expenses and some discretionary spending, while still prioritizing savings and debt reduction. If you prefer more structure and control, zero-based budgeting might be the way to go. With this approach, every single dollar you earn is assigned a specific purpose. Your income minus your expenses should equal zero, meaning that every dollar has been accounted for. This method works well for families who want a more granular understanding of where their money is going each month and prefer to be more proactive with their finances. It helps you prioritize each expense and ensure that no money is wasted. Another approach is the envelope system, which is particularly useful for managing variable expenses. In this method, you allocate a set amount of cash into physical envelopes for categories like groceries, entertainment, or dining out. Once the money in an envelope is gone, you can't spend any more in that category for the month. This system helps curb impulsive spending and gives you a tangible way to track your expenses. Regardless of the method you choose, the goal is to allocate your income in a way that ensures your essential needs are covered, gives you room for some enjoyable activities, and most importantly, helps you prioritize saving for both short-term and long-term goals. A well-structured budget provides clarity, discipline, and control over your financial future, allowing you to make confident decisions and avoid unnecessary stress. Saving for the future and managing debt are two of the most important aspects of financial security, and they work hand in hand to help reduce stress and give you peace of mind. First, it's essential to build an emergency fund. Life is unpredictable, and having a cushion to fall back on can prevent you from going into debt when unexpected expenses arise, such as medical bills, car repairs, or job loss. Financial experts recommend setting aside 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses in a liquid savings account. By having this emergency fund, you can handle life's curveballs without derailing your financial progress. Even if you can't save a full 3 to 6 months immediately, start small and build gradually over time. The key is consistency and having a safety net in place. Alongside building an emergency fund, saving for long-term goals like retirement is equally important. Many people neglect saving for retirement, thinking it's too far in the future. But the earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow through compound interest. Whether it's through a 401k, IRA, or another retirement account, setting aside a portion of your income each month will ensure that you're financially secure when the time comes to stop working. Even if you can only save a small amount initially, the consistency and growth over time will make a significant difference in the long run. Managing debt is another critical component of financial stability. Debt can be a huge source of stress, but having a clear plan to pay it off can help. The debt snowball method focuses on paying off your smallest debts first, which can create a sense of accomplishment and momentum. Alternatively, the debt avalanche method prioritizes paying off high-interest debts first, which can save you more money in the long run. No matter which method you choose, the goal is to eliminate debt as quickly as possible so you can free up money for savings and investments. By prioritizing savings and managing debt effectively, you're not only improving your current financial situation, but also setting yourself up for a more secure and stress-free future.